Hello everyone, and welcome to a 1v1 in planetary annihilation between Colin and myself, Judicator Genocide. Mr. Colin whipped up on both of my tutorial builds. He placed early turrets, and I tried to overpower the turrets, in which he repaired the turrets with some fabricators, and I was unable to take him down and took too many losses in the early game. Tried to switch to a macro instead of keeping on the pressure because he had too many turrets up, and I fell way too far behind and lost. In this game I just straight got overpowered, and we are going to find out how he does his optimization. So I missed that, so I'm just going to go ahead and go back and speed it up. So first we have a metal extractor, then an energy facility. I would like to see that closer so he has less distance to walk between the two. And then triple metal extractor into 4 and do a bot facility. So I've previously used this build in the past, but I was trying to be creative with the other builds, and it just didn't stand up to a well executed version of this. After 3 he pulls off 2 fabbers to go metal, throws down an energy extractor, links up with 3 to go build metal, continues building energy with his commander, throws down an air factory, while goes out with 5 fabricators for metal, and then returns to energy with his commander. So I like this opening and the fact that he's getting scouting done really early. This is going to allow him to adjust this high fluctuation of income to what he sees. So even if you scout an aggressive build coming from your opponent or a passive build, with this really early scout and dedicated economy, you can react even better to the way your opponent is playing. Got some idle fabbers here. So they take up some metal and then start building unit producing structures until he drags his income down, and then starts fabricators out of his first vehicle factory. And heads off in 2 different directions once his economy is tanked off the 3 unit producing structures, continuously building energy with the commander and fabricators. So he's able to not throw down turrets now because he's already scouted me, and he knows that it's not going to be a hyper aggressive build, where previously he scouted that I was going to be hyper aggressive with the spearhead build and started throwing up turrets like a madman, and that allowed him to stave off the assault long enough to just overpower an income. So now that he sees that his opponent is being more economic in nature, he just throttles home the economic expansion to get that lead in unit count, which allows him to do nifty things like build unit producing structures at the back of your base and counterattack. Wow. So he's got 3 to middle over here, 2 to middle over here, constantly going. So he's going just in all directions in metal. Constant bot fabricators have been coming out of the first bot facility. He's starting to throw up turrets in his middle lines. I like that. So as soon as he finishes a patch, he throws up a turret. Finishes a patch, throws up a turret. Constantly building units. I think he's got plenty of fighters, but he doesn't want to get bombed on. And then it looks like he's throwing down. So I have the initiative, but I'm too spread out with my units. And like right here I have the unit lead. So if these units were being more aggressive, I could be doing some damage to try to even up the game, but he has about 27 metal to my 18 metal. I have 9 unit producing structures to his 6, but he's got a lot more fabricators than I do. I just got 3 out here. So the longer the game goes on, the farther he's going to get in the lead. And what I would like to see with this build execution is these fighters right here, since he knows I'm not being aggressive with this scout. He should have these scouts just combing around the base, looking for avenues of attack and ways that I'm coming to attack him. He's building unit producing structures near groups of metal he's finishing. And I imagine pretty soon he's just going to explode in unit producing structures. His metal's negative, just barely keeping that energy negative. They both dive down into the negative as he adds defenses and unit producing structures at his metal sites. He doesn't have a dedicated group constantly building. Now it just takes off. Constantly building defenses in his back lines to make you come in with a big army to engage. So my army's just straight up smaller. The game has gone on too long without me making a move, and the game is already lost right here. It's over. Just the simple build order has allowed him to expand just ridiculously. And it's because he just went out for metal extremely early, and that scout makes this build possible. You see your opponent going an economic route, More economy, you see him being more aggressive, more defensive structures and unit producing facilities, and to just be reactive and balance the metal and energy. These guys definitely need to be scouting, but he's being lazy because he knows he's already won the game with just that one scout that was right above the base that I never took care of. Constantly taking energy or metal out here, and he threw up a turret a little earlier since it's getting closer. Throwing up a turret since it's getting closer. Continuously mixing in turrets along his economy lines. His commander's gone idle. I would like to see just a ginormous queue on the commander for energy. He's one of the best builders. So once again, this build can be optimized and better played, but he probably just got lazy because he knew he was overpowering me. So this is probably not the full extent of his capabilities with the build, but as you can see, it can be further improved upon. So watching that again, we can make minor improvements, like building that energy here instead of back over here. Well, I guess he didn't move. The commander didn't take any steps to start that energy, so it really didn't slow him down getting to the next metal. Metal energy. Quadruple metal, basically. He's going 4 metals and then a bot factory. Out of the bot factory, his commander goes into energy. The bot assists the commander for energy until his 4th energy, then he goes and assists the next guy coming out. After his 4th energy, goes into energy storage and allocates 5 workers to expansion attempts. I like the early air factory for scouting. Builds unit producing structures with his guys out expanding when he can afford it. Constantly building energy with the commander, rallying to different metal locations. If you're going to keep this constant air production up, scout with it, scout with it, scout with it. Just surround the enemy's base in different layers of scouting with these guys, because you are extremely vulnerable right here. Like, if you don't notice the attack coming in at 8 minutes and all you have is 6 bots, so that's going to be another thing to consider. If you're going to do a hyper aggressive build, this wasn't a hyper aggressive build, it was trying to be economic. But if you're going to do a hyper aggressive build, you have to stop the scouts. You have to stop the scouting from seeing your base to make him blow money on turrets. But now he can afford turrets just in his production facilities. Feel free to pause the game anytime and see where he's allocating his resources. his energy and metal get real high like this, I think it would be nice to see his commander maybe build some unit producing structures too. Like right now he's just really uber positive. Now it's dragging back down. Excellent build order. Thanks for sharing with us, Colin. Well, good game, guys, and this style right here easily becomes the standard of play. And then it's going to be a dance of builds back and forth based on scouting intel you get, and preventing that scouting intel and seeing who can get the bigger army and greater defenses first. So now he's able to just attack with large forces at all angles, since his macro is just, and he's pulling my army just every which way right here. I'm trying to allocate people in different directions and trying to micro and kite back with them, but it's just not enough. Good game, thanks for watching. Come back and see us.